Recently, we conducted a science across some of the A Song of Ice and Fire communities. We're going to talk about the results. Link in the description if you want to go skew the results yourself. Part 1, what the fandom could reach a consensus on. Martel fans will be pleased to hear that the highest rating female and male are from your hottest Dornish house, with Arianne Martel commanding a whopping 87% of the vote, and Oberyn at 73%. Can't say I'm too surprised here. Melisandre is next, obviously, then Catelyn and Asha both scored above 75%. I can't say I agree with the fandom on Asha, and while I agree with Cat, her rating was actually closer to 50-50 before the poll was shared on certain subreddits. Ellaria Sand and Rhaenys Targaryen both scored lower 70s, giving us a little bit more Martell representation and the definitive Targaryen matriarch up top. Both sane choices. Alyssa Farman and Ygritte both barely missed the 70% mark. Why, I can't really say. You'll notice women are rating much higher than men on this survey, and I can't tell you if that's more indicative of Martin's writing style or the fandom itself. For lowest scores, Boros Blount takes the cake. Not that I don't agree, but I would put him before half a dozen others on this list, so I'm somewhat surprised he got last, even though ugliness is one of his defining characteristics. Ramsay is a close second, and honestly, I'm wondering who these 5% are. Chella Blackears is the lowest scoring females, which makes sense. Lysa Arryn is somehow a very close second. Surprising how wrong the fandom is on her. Black Walder Frey is also wildly unpopular, with only 1 in 8 giving him a smash. He may have been confused with Lord Walder Frey, who also rated about 5% lower. That's right, more people in the fandom would rather give the phrase yet another heir than think R plus L equals J is false. Gregor Clegane is at a high 6%, and again I ask, who? If you took a random ASOIAF fan, they are apparently more likely to want to spend a wild night with the Bloody Mountain than think Tommen will survive the winds of winter. Varys and Qyburn also did very poorly, but not poorly enough. You're telling me 15% of the fandom wants to sleep with Varys? They must be into mermaids or something. Jorah, Dagmar, and Randall Tarley all did poorly, as expected, as well as Bennis of the Brown Shield, Bowen Marsh, and Balon Greyjoy. The last of the remarkably unpopular individuals are Illyrio, Varamir, and XXD. Nothing too unexpected here, all sane results. Part 2, what the fandom couldn't reach a consensus on. Both Jenna and Satin remained almost exactly at the 50% mark, despite the fact that they are both definite smashes. Barbary is in a similar boat as well. Shay and Jaqen, despite both being hard passes, also got near even splits. But why Jaqen? Just why? 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 3 certified top-tier warriors, Gerald Dane, Aemon One-Eye, and Arthur Dane, were also controversial despite the fact that they should all have over 80% smash rates. Part 3. Some more interesting results. There were a few duplicates on this list. Alaros is apparently half a point less attractive than Sorella Sand, but the Martells hold strong regardless. Quaithe didn't do well with the mask on, but with the mask off, she kills it. Euron Greyjoy, despite being the smashiest smash to ever smash, didn't get any recognition until he puts on the blue makeup. For some reason, a quarter of the fandom thought Ruse would be an ideal partner. These are probably the same people who ship Spike and Buffy. Barristan Selmy, Davos, Dorne Martell, Eddard Stark, and Edmund Tully were all passed by smallish margins. The fandom is wrong here as well, as these are all excellent men of character who need to be higher in the smash category. The Aegons placed in order 1, 5, 3, 4, and 2. Surprising the old unworthy bozo didn't get last, but I can't say I disagree with the ranking here. Both Sandor and Brynden Rivers scored way too high. I'm convinced Bloodraven manipulated this poll. Who wants to copulate with the tree anyway? Cold Hand scored... okay, full stop. 1/3 of the fandom. Just what? How does that even work at all? Let's think about it. Actually, let's not think about this before I go insane. Belwas and Benjen Stark should have both scored much higher, but apparently the fandom hates Belwas and can't make up their mind on Benjen. Loras, the literal handsomest knight of his generation, barely broke the 50% mark. Gatehouse Amy, as well, defies all logic and somehow can't even break the 40% mark. Stannis crushes Renly, despite the latter being so handsome he didn't even need a legitimate claim to the throne to get hundreds of thousands of people to fight for him. And yet somehow Stannis breaks 60%. Who are these people? Tyrion Lannister and Theon Greyjoy both scored quite lowly, but could have been much lower. Daemon Targaryen, the rogue prince, somehow can't even break 60%. What the heck is wrong with this fandom? Shiera C-Star can't even get 2/3 of the vote, even though she totally deserves 95 plus. Damon Blackfire is also way too low, hardly breaking 52%. Part 4. There is one last graph, and it is also way too low, but you can fix it as well by pressing that red button in the bottom right of this video. Additionally, if you wanted, you can participate in this poll and view the results by using the links in the description. There are plenty of people in the survey I didn't list, so feel free to check it out. Anyway, thanks for watching, that's all for today, and take care. Wait, what did 1/10 of the fandom see in Qyburn?